3 weeks ago, I found a voice memo on my phone that I never recorded. It was my voice, definitely mine. Same tone, same pacing, even the little way I clear my throat before I say something serious. And it was telling me not to do something the next day. I know how that sounds. That's why I'm writing this here instead of telling anyone I know in real life. I'm 26. I do data entry. I live alone in a studio apartment in the suburbs. Nothing paranormal has ever happened to me. I've had the same phone for 2 years, an older refurbished model. It's been fine. I don't sleepwalk. I don't record myself at night. I don't use drugs. I don't drink much. I'm not saying my life is perfect, but it's normal. The first time it happened, I noticed a badge on the voice memo app. One new recording. The timestamp said 3:47 a.m. I was asleep at 3:47 a.m. I'm sure of that. I tapped it anyway, mostly because I wanted to prove it was nothing. A glitch, an accidental tap, a corrupted file. It was me, sounding groggy but urgent, saying, "Don't drink the coffee tomorrow, trust me, pour it out." That was it, 15 seconds. I stood there in my kitchen the next morning with my phone in one hand and my mug in the other, trying to talk myself out of taking it seriously. But the way I sounded on that recording was wrong. Not like a joke, not like a sleepy note to myself, more like someone trying to warn me and running out of time. So I poured the coffee out. That afternoon at work, a bunch of people got sick. Not one or two, several. It turned into a whole thing. Someone called it food poisoning. Later, we heard the office coffee machine was the likely cause. Something contaminated in the water line. I don't know the details, but it was enough that they shut it down and cleaned everything. And all I could think was, I would have been one of them. I tried to rationalize it as coincidence. I told myself the memo was random and the coffee thing just happened to line up. Then 4 days later, another memo appeared. This time at 4:12 a.m. I had been checking the app constantly by then, like an idiot. I never saw anything record. I just woke up, and there it was. A new file. Same voice, same me. It said, "Lock your car doors the moment you get in. Don't wait. Someone's going to try the passenger door in the garage tonight." I work late sometimes. Our parking garage is mostly empty by evening, and the lighting isn't great. I've never had a problem there. But after that memo, I felt stupidly tense. So that night I got in my car and locked the doors immediately. About half an hour later, I was still sitting there with the engine running, looking at my phone before pulling out, and I saw someone walk between the cars, hoodie up, hands in pockets. They passed my car, then slowed down, then turned back. They came up to the passenger side and tried the handle, twice. Then they walked away. I reported it to building security. This is where it stopped feeling like a weird coincidence and started feeling like something I couldn't explain. Security pulled the camera footage. The camera angle showed my car, and it showed me inside. But it didn't show anyone approaching the passenger side. No hoodie, no person, nothing. The only evidence in the video was me suddenly turning my head to the right, like I was tracking someone, like I was reacting to something real. Security basically shrugged it off. Bad angle, shadows, compression artifacts. Or they hinted politely that maybe I was mistaken. But I wasn't mistaken. I know what I saw. After that, I started dreading the next memo. The third one came on the 13th. It was longer, and it was the first one that genuinely scared me, because the voice didn't sound urgent anymore. It sounded exhausted, like I'd been crying. It said, "Please listen to me. I know you think you can change this, but you can't. Don't go to work on the 15th. Stay home. Lock your doors. Don't answer if someone knocks. Don't..." And then it cut off, static, and nothing. I should have listened, but I needed my job. I couldn't just not show up because my phone told me not to. I kept thinking, what am I supposed to tell my manager? Sorry, my future self left me a voice memo, so I went to work on the 15th. All day I waited for something to happen. I tried to be careful. I tried to stay alert. Nothing happened. It was a quiet day. By late afternoon, I started to think maybe the memo was wrong. Maybe being aware was enough. Maybe I'd changed whatever was coming. Then at 4:16 p.m., I got a notification for a new memo. The timestamp on it was 4:17. I checked the time on my computer. I checked the wall clock. I checked a coworker's phone. It was 4:16, but my phone had a memo from a minute later. I went into the bathroom and played it. It wasn't a warning. It was me, crying and breathing like I couldn't catch my breath. In the background, there were distant voices, people talking loudly, maybe arguing. I couldn't make out words. And then my voice, close to the mic, said, "I'm sorry. I thought I could stop it. But it already happened. It's always already happened. The memos aren't warnings. They're..." And it cut off again. After that, I went back to my desk, stared at my phone, and did something I hadn't done the whole time. I looked at the date. My phone thought it was the 22nd, a full week ahead. I can't explain how I missed that. I was so focused on times and notifications that I didn't really register the date until I forced myself to look. And that's when the whole story tilted into something worse. If my phone has been a week ahead, then the memos weren't coming from the future. They were coming from now, which means either someone is feeding them to my phone through sync, or I'm somehow recording them myself and not remembering, or my device is compromised in a way I don't understand. That night, I tried to be as practical as possible. I checked time settings. Some sync options didn't look like what I remembered. I checked my account security. I looked at devices signed in, and I found something that made my stomach drop. There was another device listed, basically the same name as my phone, like my phone 2. And it had recent activity. I changed my password, turned on two-factor, signed out of everything I could, removed anything unfamiliar. For a few hours, nothing happened. I actually felt relieved, like I'd solved it. Then another memo appeared. It wasn't recording, it was already there. A finished file, like it had been created somewhere else and only arrived on my phone. I haven't played it. I'm writing this instead because I need a grounded explanation that covers most of this without hand-waving. A sync issue, a hacked account, a weird device duplication, some kind of memory gap I'm not noticing. Because right now, the scariest part isn't the idea of messages from the future. The scariest part is that every explanation I come up with has one hole in it, and somehow that hole always leads back to me.